Hello everyone, my name is Christian. Welcome to my hobby blog. Today we are doing another Withering Watchpile episode. This time we're doing a westerns genre focused one. Really exciting. Today we have Cult Flicks Fix 24 joining us again. New username. Welcome back.
Thanks, Christian, for having me. And I changed the name recently. It's gonna be take some getting used to for definitely, but you try to say it fast and I get confused, like tongue tied. So it's like Cult Flicks Fix 24. I have to say it. I was like, say that fast and buzzed, it won't work or something. But yeah, thanks for having me again. And I'm pretty excited about this genre because like I haven't seen too many of these films. I'm still like watching westerns, but I'm excited to get into them, and I have them in order from average to amazing. So I'll go in that direct order and give my thoughts on each film. So,
Nice. Yeah, usually I'm not a westerns type of guy. I am more of a spaghetti western type of guy. Maybe late 60s to the, I don't know, 80s. And there's not really another good western until that amazing one with Kurt Russell. Oh my gosh, what's it called?
to Bone Tomahawk.
Yes, Bone Tomahawk. That one
Yeah,
is awesome. But I think I figured out that the reason why I don't like westerns in general is the kind of John Wayne era, kind of the oh golly gee, and there's a lot of like I don't know, casual misogyny and racism. Like there is some in like these in the spaghetti westerns, but like in those days it was like really bad. Like there's no characters for any other woman. Everyone's a caricature, and it's really annoying to watch. But with spaghetti westerns, you actually get like more interesting stories being told instead of like, oh no, they took our woman, we gotta save them. They're all just tools for the story, or they get killed, or all sorts of things. So I went. What's funny about my picks is that I did not mean to do this, but it was 1966 was one movie. Another one was 1967, and then 1968. And I did not mean to do that, and it was in order. And I was like, oh my god, like
nice.
that is so weird. I did not mean to do that, like at all. So yeah. And one thing I was kind of thinking about before starting this is that whoever chooses the topic should probably be the one who starts first because they chose it, they wanted to do it. So because we always struggle trying to figure out who
Yeah,
uh, went last. So I'm just like, ah, fuck it. Like we'll do it this way. I think it's much easier. Much makes much more sense. So unless there's anything
yeah.
else, it's your turn.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with that. I think that's a good idea to go first with whoever chose it because I mean it works better for the brain cells.
Yeah.
But
And also, before we start, I my beer is not of any movie, but I got the Shotgun Betty Hefeweizen.
oh, nice.
So I saw a cowboy and I was like, okay, like that's easy. I've seen this in the grocery store a lot. I don't know if it's good or not, but I guess I will try. Oh my gosh, it's bubbling everywhere. It's not too bad though. It's okay. Ugh.
How's it taste?
Actually, not that good. Okay.
Not that good.
The first taste was like fine, but then the aftertaste was bad. So
Oh man.
I'll sip on that and then move to something different.
I saw the reaction on your face after that drink, so I was like,
I was like, oh, it's good. Oh, wait, never mind. That aftertaste, like, never mind. So,
and I guess I'll reveal my alcohol as well. So
ooh,
I got some wine, and
ooh,
it's a dark horse, and has a horse on the label.
ooh,
So
that's awesome.
some kind of cheap wine, but oh well. So I'll do
Some,
my taste test here. I have it in a cup, so
ooh,
here we go. It's a little more not sweet, but dry taste.
oh,
But
that's the worst kind of wine. Yeah.
yeah, it's a little dry, but I'll sip on it, no problem. it makes you happy. It makes you happy. That's what
Yeah.
I put it.
That's all that matters.
Yeah. But yeah, shit. So I start first here,
Yep.
correct? All right, we'll go with the. This is my average. Well, I should say above average watch because I enjoyed every film. But this is a considered a spaghetti western, but I looked it up and it's a French western, so I don't
Ooh.
know. It's in that category. I don't maybe the style or because I thought the language was a little off. It's subtitled, and I was like, that doesn't sound like my normal Italian because I watch films. I was like, some different, and I looked it up. Yep, it's a French film. So
And the
so
audio's
this is a
matching. Which never
yeah,
does.
it's real bizarre, but this is from 1969. It is Cemetery Without Crosses, and I love that name.
Ooh.
It just speaks Western. It's directed by Robert Hussein. I'll probably slaughter his name, but he's a writer and director from 60s French films.
Ooh.
So this stars, of course, the lead star is Robert Hussein, the director, stars in it as well. His name's Manuel. And then we got Maria, and she's played by Michelle Mercier from Black Sabbath, a Baba film. So,
Ooh.
and I enjoyed her in Black Sabbath. So that's what got me more excited about this film was her in it. So, I'm gonna start off with music in these westerns because they're so good, and this one has one of those catchy western songs throughout it that got me into the film. So this film's about a leather-clad killer who's drawn into a revenge kidnapping plot by an old flame. That's basically your plot of the film. So we got a I guess a little rivalry going on. There's money stolen from this family. I think they're called the McCains in this film. I'm not sure on that, but they're a pretty powerful family. They even have the law on their side. And
Mm.
it starts with them pretty much killing this man. And this is where you get the spaghetti western because there's even a whole family executed, kids, everyone.
Ooh.
It's pretty brutal to start off. And you have this girl getting down there and she's pretty much going back and you find out this man that was hung was her husband by this McCain family. So she's pretty upset. She pretty much goes into a state of shock and not caring anymore. And all her thoughts are is revenge throughout this film. This is a revenge film. So you got her back at home and she has these bandits that are pretty much teamed up with her and she tells them, just help me get my payback and we'll go from there. So they're friends of her husband, so they give her gold. I guess they stole gold from this family, which started the whole situation, the killings and all that. And so she pretty much gets these guys to help her, but she knows they're not powerful enough. She knows they're gonna die eventually. So she goes and looks for this old flame named Manuel, played by the director, and he's this, fast gun slinging outlaw kind of. So she goes to ask him. He's like, I don't want to help you. I don't want to get involved, whatever. But she eventually ends up talking him into it. So he he goes over there undercover, pretty much gets in with a family, ends up kidnapping their daughter, the main McCain guy's daughter, and taking him back, holding him ransom. But the whole plot is for her to get revenge, just Maria. And so she pretty much. This is where we get into the rapey type of the film because we got a rape scene in this one.
Oh wow.
I mean, she pretty much has the daughter up in the room and has the two pretty much criminal guys that were friends of her husband rape her. There's a rape scene that goes on, and that's her payback. That's her thrill to get payback like that.
Oh.
But this causes the McCain family to go all out. So they pretty much go out, and it turns into that revenge story. And you have Manuel, who's the guy to save the day. But yeah, it's a pretty actually at the I'd say about the 3/4 marks of this film. I was giving up on it because I thought it was just going to end really bad where I thought it was, but it actually goes where I wanted it to go. That's what boosted it up for me. And you get the whole showdown towards the end and all that. So I was like, okay, this film is good. I was about to give up on it honestly, but yeah, I really like this one. It's a good revenge story. I don't want to give too much away. I'm gonna get into some information about the film. So we got the lead actor Robert Hussein. and this is where you get the Italian from because he's a slinger, but before he kills someone, he puts a black glove on his hand. So
Ooh,
I got like a Giallo
that's awesome.
kind of vibe out of that one. He'll put one black glove on his hand. That's when he's about to murder people in this film. So it's pretty cool. And then you got the film is also co-written by Dario Argento.
What?
Yeah, I found that out.
Oh my god.
But he doesn't want the credit. He says that he wants to give it to the director. He said, I just assisted, but it does say he actually wrote a lot of the script of this film.
Oh my god.
So
I need to get it.
yeah, it's a pretty good one, man. It got that spaghetti western feel to it, even though it's a French western. But the score was composed by Andre Hussein, and that's the director's father. So there's involvement there, and yeah, that's he also dedicated this film towards the end to Sergio Leone because that was his
Ooh,
mentor.
that's
So
awesome.
yeah, real good one. You like a revenge type with that it has that spaghetti western feel to it, even though it's French. But I'll give it a 4 out of 5. I enjoyed it.
Awesome. I went ahead and
So
added it to my letterbox watch list. So
awesome.
I didn't
Yeah, it's
read
a
too
fun one.
deeply, but
Once you see Argento involved in it, it's worth a watch.
yeah, that's what convinced me. Because I was like, okay, it sounds pretty good. Sounds like every Western show, but
Yeah.
it has a female lead first of all, which never happens ever. And Westerns, maybe True Grit, I think, is the only other one,
Yeah.
but
There's not many.
that's all I can think of. So
And she does really good in this film.
awesome.
She's she's real how could I say it? Menacing. Once she doesn't give a shit, it's like she's like she'll do anything to just cut throat someone. That's what I really enjoyed.
Yeah, it makes me
Yeah.
think of a Thriller, A Cruel Picture. I haven't seen it, but I see the poster and it's like a woman sniper on the front.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, like it's gonna be a good revenge movie.
It's good, man. I recommend it.
What company released it? Was it Arrow? I assume Arrow.
Arrow. I'm pretty sure it's Arrow.
Okay, if it's Dario Argento, he bends over backwards for Arrow. He'll do new interviews and everything. Is that what you found
Yeah.
out?
Actually I looked in IMDb where it said the credits and it had co-written by Dario Argento.
Ooh,
But then it said in the trivia section, it said that he didn't want to admit he had no involvement. He didn't want no credit for that film. He wanted his buddy Robert, the director, to get all the credit. He's like, but they said he did do a lot of guiding in the story. So
it sounded like a Argento, and especially because it's '69, right? That's before Bird with the
yeah,
Crystal Plumage. Like that's his first movie.
69.
So it's not
Yeah,
even that his
that's
name would have like helped the movie really at all, because he was just a script guy and a camera
mhm.
operator, I think, before he was a director. So that's really fun.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I don't know why he doesn't want to admit that he's involved in the film. He doesn't want to.
He saw the
Even
future
though,
and was like, "Nah, everyone will see it if my name is all over." Just like
yeah,
The Gate or whatever, and um, the other movies where it says like Dario Argento presents and everyone gets it. Demons is
yeah,
one where it's Lamberto Bava, but Dario Argento's name is bigger on the case than
it's all
Bava's.
over it.
So
His footprint. Yeah, yeah, that's a great film.
I just watched it
But
recently for the first time. Finally.
you hope I gotta hear your thoughts on that because I love that movie.
It's amazing. It blew me away. I love the score.
Or
It had everything I loved in middle school, which is when I listened to Accept, um, Saxon, uh, Motley Crue, all of them. And they had the song
yeah,
Fast as a Shock by Accept in the movie, and I just lost my mind because I've never heard the band Accept as like a soundtrack, let alone my favorite song by them. So
uh,
I was really happy when I saw the movie.
yeah, it's got a great rock soundtrack in it.
And also the gore effects made me want to throw up multiple times. It was really good.
Yeah, that stands out. I like the movie theater atmosphere in it. I like how they're trapped in a
Yeah,
theater.
it's another theater horror movie. I was thinking to
Hmm.
myself, I was like, someone should watch this with Anguish, Midnight Movie, Sensor. Like, it's a whole genre now. Like, I need to have a list on Letterboxd where I keep a ranking
Yeah.
of my favorite theater centric movies. But I guess I'll go on to my first one. It's one I thought was just average. It's a competent, fine movie, but there's a specific choice that I kind of hated for the main guy throughout the movie. But this is from the Vengeance Trails set, which I just
Nice.
love that artwork. Oh, I guess I just revealed which one I took out. But my third choice is My Name Is Pecos, which is 1966, I think. Yes, 66. And this was the first movie I saw. And so this one is basically about a Mexicano. If you can't tell, that's a white guy. And they gave him like brown makeup, like for his skin, and then taped back his eyelids so he looks Mexican. And it's awful and
Oh, man.
disgusting, and I hated it. And that was the reason why I gave it 2 stars, because I was gonna give it 3, but the entire movie, he's like, "Hey, man," and like speaking in a Mexican accent, and he's the whitest guy ever, because there's a scene where he's like bathing, and he's just pure like a sheet, like looks completely white, except his eyelids are taped back, but he plays the guy Pecos, which is a pretty fun theme song. So I'll give it that. The music is all great in all these movies, but he watched his family get murdered by our main villain, who I didn't write the name of because I was too lazy. But his family is killed, and he witnesses it when he's like a kid, and he's taken under the wing of the villain and is let loose after an unsuccessful, I guess, attempt on the villain's life. And so after like 20 years, he goes back to Houston, where he used to live, and targets the villain. Meanwhile, the villain is looking for stolen gold. So it's a very typical Western plot. So it's very competent. I mean, it's fine. It's just that one part about the main actor wearing brown face and having the worst accent ever. But George Eastman is the villain's underling in this movie, which I
Oh,
was not
nice.
expecting. He just kind of pops up. I don't even think he's even mentioned. Oh, he's the final mention in kind of the back where they say like, "Oh, this guy's in it. This guy's in it." And George Eastman's like the last one they mention. I'm like, oh, like that's the only name I know like in this list, and so that was pretty fun. But they said this guy rivals Franco Nero's Django, and that's a straight out lie. Django is so much cooler and awesome than this guy, than Pecos. But yeah, it was funny reading that on the back where it says, yeah, he's as cool as Django. And I was like, no, he's not. He's fine, but it was a fine little movie. But I should mention that I'm trying a new way of reviewing these movies for these episodes now, where I don't just recite the first half of the movie's events, but rather talk about it as a whole and not be so specific, because I'm sure it demotivates everybody to know half the movie before even watching it and getting a recommendation. But I mean, it seems like they just kind of threw this movie in because they had the rights to it. Because I don't know who the director is, never heard of him. The main star I've never heard of. It's Robert Woods. I know James Woods, but not really Robert. But there's a lot of not soundtracks, special features on this, which I didn't watch any of them because I didn't care enough about the movie that I wanted to know anything else. But it was competent. If they didn't have brownface on the main character, it would have been competent. Still would have been my number 3 because the others are just so awesome. But it was fun. I mean, it's a revenge plot. It's very typical genre tropes. So, I mean, it comes in the box set, so you're gonna watch it anyways because it's free with the box set. Because the other movies are really, really good. Massacre Time, I'm not reviewing today, but that one I've seen, and that one is awesome. Lucio Fulci, Western, so it's really fun. And hopefully you didn't cover that because I'm sitting here summarizing it. But Massacre Time is a much better movie. I don't really remember it because it was on a weekend that I watched it, late night. So, but watch Massacre Time instead. The others I can't talk about yet. But yeah, that's my number 3. It was fine.
Nice.
Brown face tipped it over into 2. I would have given it a 3 if there was no brown face. Everything else is fine in that movie, but that was the one kind of thing that drug it down.
Yeah, I don't have no Fulci, so you don't have to worry about that. So, that kind of reminds me of that movie Tropic Thunder when you said that, where they have Robert Downey playing like a black guy. They have to paint his face and all that. That's what it reminded me of. So
yeah, that movie does it a lot more tastefully and respectfully, but this movie they were like just brown paint on him and was like, all right, go. And then he was like, hey man, and like it was awful.
Not bad.
It was just that one part. Everything else was fine. It was average. So
nice. What rating did you give it? Did you give it a rating?
Oh, I gave it a 2 out of 5.
2 out of 5. All right.
It was a 3, but then yeah, I've explained it like 5 times now.
Yeah. Right on. Eventually, I'm gonna get that box set, so I'll end up watching it.
Oh, I thought you had it, so I was like, oh man, because I remember.
No, I don't own that set.
Yeah, so. I remember I was texting you, and I was like, oh man, I think you have the Vengeance Trail set. Hopefully, we don't do the exact same movies. And wow,
no, I don't have that set.
I've been like stressing for the last like 2 weeks, thinking we were gonna do the same movies. Okay,
I should have just sent you a text like I don't own the set, man. Don't worry.
That's why I didn't do Massacre Time. I thought you would do that one because it's Lucio Fulci.
It's on the Arrow app. Those films, but I didn't watch them. But yeah, should I get into my second film here?
Go on.
Or
shoot.
Still got some. All right. Now we get into probably the how should I say masterpieces for me because I watched.
Already? Wow.
Some pretty good stuff right away. So I'm gonna get into my second film. Of course, I gotta go with Clint Eastwood, man. So I'm going with High Plains Drifter.
I meant to, but
I'm going with High Plains Drifter from 1973, and this is Clint Eastwood's first film as a director. He directed this and starred in it. So this stars Clint Eastwood, of course, has the stranger. That's his name in the film. He has no name. And we got Stacy, an outlaw, and it's played by Geoffrey Lewis from Night of the Comet and Devil's Rejects. And he passed away, so rest in peace. And then we got this is the one I was pretty excited about too. Marianne Hill, man, from Messiah of Evil. I love that film. That's so atmospheric. But she plays Callie on here. She's pretty much the whore in the movie. That's how I can put it. So. But we're gonna get into this film. It's about a drifter with no name. He wanders into a small town called Lago, and he right away gets into it with guys. He loves to drink his whiskey and beer, and he's played by Clint Eastwood. And he has the gunsling abilities that everyone can't keep up with, so he pretty much starts to dominate the town. And pretty much everyone in the town have these criminals on the way that are gonna pretty much demolish the town. So he's pretty much their savior because everyone in the town's pretty much a coward. They don't want to stand up to him, or so they look at him like, he'll help us. So he takes advantage of that. He starts to pretty much get spoiled. He gets whatever he wants, from bathing to women. There is some rapey scenes in this as well.
Clint
So
Eastwood does that often.
yeah.
In all his movies, there's always that one rapey scene.
So he agrees to defend this town, but he wants everything given to him. So he goes into this hotel, he gets bathed and spoiled, and he tries to show these people to have courage. I mean, he's trying to tell them how to fight back and, stand up for yourselves, but that's the hard plot. And then he pretty much, it's Clint Eastwood, I mean, drinking and getting his women and killing. I mean, there's some scenes where pretty badass shootouts where he's shooting these guys in the head and chest, and you see it reminded me a lot of Italian horror, how the blood comes out looking like paint and stuff like that. So,
Like ravioli
but
sauce.
yeah, so I'm just gonna get into that on the plot, so I don't ruin too much. But this is a revenge film. There's a history behind why he's in this town, and it's supernatural. So this film, I don't see it as a western. Honestly, I see it as more of a horror film because
Mm.
there's a horror aspect to it, like a supernatural to it. And I guess Eastwood wrote this film to John. No, he wrote to John Wayne after this film to see if
Ooh.
they could work together. And John Wayne heard about this film, I guess watched it. He freaking hated it. So he wrote back. he
I was
wrote
not
back to John,
expecting that.
he pretty much wrote back to Clint Eastwood and told him, I don't want to work with you, and this film's a disgrace to westerns, and
Oh my
he
god.
disrespected it with violence and gore. So they never, of course, never worked together because of that.
Yeah, I thought
So
he died like, because he did die around that time. But I thought
yeah,
like, oh okay, he might have said yes and then died. But wow, I mean John
he
Wayne,
pretty
I don't like his movies. I much prefer Clint
me neither.
Eastwood. So
Same here. So he pretty much said, you put too much violence or horror in this film, so I want no part of it. It's disrespecting westerns.
that's what makes
So
them
Eastwood's like, heck
good.
with it.
That's what I love about my
Yeah,
movies.
yeah. Anyways, in this film, we have graves in the town, and one of them reads Sergio Leone, and it's in honor of him. I guess Eastwood
Oh,
put it to honor him, because I don't know if he had passed away yet or not. No, maybe it's just like a homage to him.
that would be dark if he was dead and they had a grave marker
Yeah,
for him. That'd be really dark.
yeah. But oh no, it's homage because he didn't die till the 80s, so yeah, it
Yeah.
couldn't have been. Um, but yeah, you have I guess Eastwood in a scene he lights a dynamite with his cigar and he throws it in a building and blows it up, and that's homage to spaghetti westerns. He said, and he wanted to give a homage to that, and I guess they do that a lot in spaghetti westerns. So he wanted to throw like a, I guess, homage to him and Sergio Leone. But yeah, this film's real dark, like you said. It. I don't consider it a western. I consider it a horror film because it's
Hmm.
you got references to hell. The whole town's painted red with red paint, and it says "Welcome to Hell"
Ooh.
on one of the scenes, and it's real haunting and menacing. Like you'll have to see the film, but the ending will just leave you like, okay, this isn't a western. This is a horror film.
Starts
Yeah,
fighting
it's one of
demons.
my it's my favorite Eastwood film. I mean, a lot of people will go to the good, the bad, the ugly, all those hits, but for me, this one's the one that does it as a horror fan. So
How
I'm gonna
long is
give it
the
a
movie?
5 out of 5. I love
Ooh.
this film, so
How
highly
long is the
recommend it.
movie?
I'm not sure on that.
Because
I know it.
Good, Bad, and the Ugly is like 2.5 hours. It's like an epic.
I don't think it's that long. It's an hour and 45 minutes.
That's like the
So
perfect length for a western. Because you don't want it to be
yeah,
90 minutes. But you also don't want it to be 2.5 hours. The only ones that I like that are close to that is Once Upon a Time in the West and Good, Bad, and the Ugly. Those are the only ones that justify
yeah,
the length.
yeah. I agree with that. But yeah, this film's different, and you could tell Eastwood even says that he wanted to do something different. He wanted some dark and bloody. He wanted like a I guess he even there's a thing where they're saying where he paints the town red and calls it hell, and he I guess people were saying on the studio like everyone that he'd tell everyone go to hell and then laugh just to make fun of him, make fun of it. So
Oh yeah.
he's all, I don't know how many times we heard go to hell from Eastwood on set to people, but I guess it was just him messing with them or whatever. But yeah, it's pretty much all I got on this film. Highly recommend it if you haven't seen it.
Yeah, I haven't actually. You recommended it to me like a year ago on like one of our first episodes. And I was like, yeah, I'll watch it soon. And here I am. You're talking about it again. I still haven't seen it. But I will
Man, it's one to
eventually.
watch.
Before I die. That's a guarantee at least.
Yeah, the Blu-ray I think I paid like $10 for it.
Oh, wow.
Oh, I didn't show the Blu-ray. Let me show the Blu-ray. I mean,
I was like the Walmart edition.
yeah, it's like, and then it has this pretty cool. It opens like that.
Ooh.
Feels
Has
like the
an
70s.
Animal House thing.
Yeah. It has a bunch of like 70s films on there, like a list of them. I mean, there's even Jaws, look.
Ooh.
But yeah, this transfer is great too.
Okay, I
I
will
never
say,
seen the movie.
yeah, that's one thing
That
I
clear.
didn't mention about my movie, Pecos. It looked like it was made today. I mean, it looked
Mhm.
really fucking good. And that's
I'll
for
say the
all of
same
them.
on this one too. It looks like it was made today. That's how good the transfer was.
Awesome.
But it's pretty much all I got on the second film there, man.
Dope. I'll go into my second one then. This one's a very
All
long
right.
title, but this is 68. Uh, I guess. Okay, so I didn't watch it in order. This was number two for me. But this is from the complete Sartana collection, which is an
Oh,
awesome, awesome collection so far. The first movie is called If You Meet Sartana, Pray for Your Death. That's what it looks like. This is the alternate cover. Because all the other covers are like orange. And usually look like this. This is just the second movie.
mm,
But I really, really loved this one. Let me find the plot because I forgot about writing down the plot until like right before this, so I had to look it up. But it's basically about like a huge cast of villains, including the Eastern European actor Klaus Kinski is in this movie as a villain,
nice.
and he is amazing in this. He's a little. He's not the main villain. There's a big main villain, and then his underling villains that are like kind of vying for power and making their own gangs and all that. But they all partner up to do a huge heist to get a big chest of gold. And so he gets it, and or they all get it, I guess, together. And then they can't agree on who gets it, and they don't want to split up. And so it just keeps getting stolen from one another the entire movie. Meanwhile, our main character, Sartana, is kind of like the Yoshimbo, where he's having all these gangs like kill each other off, and he allies and kind of kills them from the inside and all this different stuff. But he's considered an anti-hero because he does some questionable things throughout this movie. He blackmails citizens and does all sorts of sleazy stuff, which is fun. I mean, I enjoyed it. It's new, so.
Yeah.
But the only issue I had with it is at the end kind of standoff, which is always the villain and the hero kind of chasing each other in town and hiding and always having wisecracks. It felt like it was about 30 minutes long, just this 5 minute scene, because it's just them walking up and down like the alleyways between the buildings and in all these different rooms, and nobody is around, so you just hear the wind. And I was just saying that, like, oh my god, this final standoff is taking forever, but it finally ended, and outside of that, it was really awesome. They made you turn on the Italian, I guess, audio first, and I had to change it to English because it's a spaghetti western. I want the dubbing. And it is so
Yeah.
funny watching Klaus Kinski talk because he has the most like American boring accent ever in the dubbing. Meanwhile, actual Klaus Kinski has like a badass accent that always rolls off the tongue really well, and all his line deliveries are always awesome. And they didn't do it. They were like, yeah, we're not gonna have him
Oh man.
dub his own voice. We're gonna have Joe from down the street do it, and he's just saying there like, "Hello, I am Klaus Kinski," and his face is like the most Eastern European face ever. It's probably the most like European looking face outside of the father and in the Mouth of Madness, who's like Journey Boy. And he has like the heaviest accent ever. He's like in Montana. I'm like, I don't know how you ended up in Montana from the forests of Romania, but like, how the hell? Like, but this movie was a lot of fun, and I was looking at the final movie for the set, and I saw that Klaus Kinski is also in that, so I'm really excited to
Nice.
watch that. I did not watch it for this one because I wanted to branch out of the Vengeance Trail set because I thought you were gonna do one, and I would have done almost
No,
all of them. So I went and
it's not
watched
happening.
this one. It was really good. I enjoyed it. I'm not really sure if the rest of the series are like standalones, kind of like the Django knockoff movies, but I'm hoping they continue the storyline because that would be new. There are very few sequels that are actual sequels and not just, the same thing. Because there's like 40 sequels to Django with like 40 different actors because they had the rights to it and none of them connect. It shouldn't even be called Django. They would, and this is just a slight, I guess, history lesson here. But Django, every time they made a Western and they didn't have much faith in it, they would just slap on the name Django in order to at least,
Yeah.
or not confirm, but guarantee a really big, I guess, paycheck. Because everyone wants to go see a Django movie. And they watch it and they're like, oh, that's not a Django movie, but they've already paid for the theater ticket. And so, I mean, there's nothing they can do, and they're just angry. But
It's kind of like Demons, how they put demons on a lot of Italian horror films. Demon
yeah,
6, Demon
or
5. You're like
Zombie.
zombie. Yeah.
It's so bad. There's like 6 zombie films, and it's like the first one, Zombie, is actually the first one, and then Zombie 2 is Dawn of the Dead in Europe, and then Zombie 3 is something City of the Living Dead, I think. Just a random movie, and then Zombie 4 is a Jaws movie or something. I'm not sure, but Zombie 5 is Killing Birds, which has nothing to do with zombies or anything. I don't know why that's called Zombie 5, but whatever.
Yeah.
But that was kind of the same situation with Django, and I'm hoping it's not this way for the Sartana movies, because that would suck. Um, I would be duped into getting a big box set of all 5 movies, and they not connect at all. But this
I hope
guy,
they don't change the actor either.
oh god, I would be pretty pissed if that happened.
Yeah.
But one cool thing about Sartana is that he's like a James Bond type of guy. Has a lot of gadgets and like fun little trinkets to use, like very special purpose gadgets that he can only use once. But they're all really cool. So it was a really fun movie. Outside of the 18-40 minute, I guess, ending. So it was fine. Actually, it was kind of great. I loved it. I gave it a 4 out of 5, I think, on Letterboxd, which I
Nice.
never give. So I know I was kind of like, it's okay, but like it was actually really good. So I'm just tired.
I'm glad you reviewed this because I'm curious about that box set. I don't own it, so
Perfect. Well, I
I'm
know
on
for
Arrow
sure
have
I'm
some
not.
sales, so I
Yeah,
could pick it up.
yeah. They had the box set sale, and I got this Vengeance Trails, Lady Scorpion, bunch of other stuff that I can't remember, but Yeah, it was pretty awesome. I liked it.
I never realized how good these spaghetti westerns were, man, because I haven't seen too many of them, and they're giving me. I like them as much as I like Jellos, man. Like I wouldn't say all Jellos because there's masterpieces, but they're pretty entertaining.
That's how I am with these, because I watch any samurai movie ever, really. And most of them are like just okay, they're average. But I still like love them. I'm not that way yet with spaghetti westerns, but I'm getting there. I think with these box sets, it's been a nice, I guess, curation of like the best unknown westerns. Because I haven't heard of any of these in the Vengeance Trail set outside of Massacre Time, but that's just because Lucio Fulci directed it. But
Yeah, because he has another western. What is it? Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse, or what is it?
yeah, Four
Four
Horsemen of the
Horsemen.
Apocalypse,
Yeah, that
which
one's good. I've
isn't
seen
in the
that one.
set. But the thing that really annoys me, and I'll have to zoom in so I don't show what my other movies are, is that the top thing here, those three are the exact same pictures. They
Oh
misprinted
man.
them in the first one, and the first one is the limited edition. They didn't print any more, as far as I know. But it's really it's kind of awful because I switched it around. And I was like, and all three of them on this side were the same, and I was like, oh, like so two of them are always gonna look exactly the same. And I just look at it, I'm like, well, thankfully on the shelf it'll look like this and not this.
Yeah, have that side
So that was a
a
slight
misprint
nitpick
there.
on Arrow. That happened a lot during this period. There was another box set that they did that too, and everyone was just like, "Of course!" Like when it came out.
Well, you pay enough money, you figure, come on, I need it right.
I think I paid like $40 for it, and I paid as much for the Yokai. And I think no, it has the same amount of movies, 4 movies. So
I
this
still need to
one's a
watch
lot.
those. I've only seen one.
They're really good. The Takashi Miike one is a lot of fun. I kind of gave it a blah review when I first did it, when I
Yeah,
first reviewed it, but as time's gone by, I think I've really enjoyed it.
nice. Anything else on that film? You gotta.
No,
No.
68 is when it came out.
Oh, no.
Uh, so,
It's about the golden years of westerns there around that time.
yeah, for some reason I thought all of these were
Uh-huh.
like 70s, but all of mine were late 60s. So,
I think the only one I got in the 70s was High Plains Drifter. Other than that, they're 60s. So,
cool.
yeah, so I guess I'll get into my third film here. This is a first time watch for me, and you've already mentioned it. So, Once Upon a Time in the
Yes,
West, man.
yes. Okay, I had a feeling because I saw you picked it up recently,
Yeah.
and I was like, I
And I
hope
was
he
like,
reviews
damn it,
it.
I gave it away. But this is directed by the Sergio Leone, man, the legend himself. Once Upon a Time in America, Fistful of Dollars. I mean, he's done it. Um, I had not seen this film. I'm ashamed to say. So this was a first time watch, and I'm gonna get into it right away with we got our characters: Harmonica, played by Charles Bronson; Frank, played by Henry Fonda, and this has a pounding Morricone score, which I mean amps up the film more
I
than
love the
it
score
already
in the
is.
movie.
Me too. It's just so great. So we're gonna get into the film. We got Bronson who plays harmonica, and he also plays a harmonica in the film. So
He's
there's a
always
reason
playing it.
for
It's
that.
so awesome.
Yeah, it's so great. I'm gonna get into this plot. It's a mysterious stranger with a harmonica. He joins forces with a notorious desperado to protect a beautiful widow from a ruthless gang of assassins working for the railroad. Um, this film is a revenge film. It also goes into that territory. And what I love about this film is it doesn't. spoon feed it to you. You're wondering the whole fucking film, like, why is this guy so interested in what? And they'll give you like little clues of what's happening, but it won't break it down till the ending where you find out why. So I'm gonna get into pretty much the plot of that film. I have a lot of extras to talk about on this film, so I'll talk about them here.
Yes.
Um, so we got let me get into this real quick here. Make sure it's in order. Okay, this film was edited several times, and the UK version was rated PG. They had to edit out a lot of love scenes in this film
Huh.
because you have a scene with what's her name? Claudia Cardinal, who plays Jill in this film, and Henry Fonda. His name's Frank. He's the pretty much the villain of this film. And there's a scene where he pretty much takes advantage of her, and this was blurred out by the UK. They found it offensive, so they cut it out of their own version. Could be in the video nasties as a western, honestly, because it was banned.
Hmm. Yeah.
I didn't look, but there was a line in the film, and I'll read it to you. It's called where he tells her, "You like the feeling of a man's hands all over your body, don't you?" He's all, even if these are the hands of the man who killed your husband,
Ew.
and he's
Sleazy.
rubbing on her, whatever. Yeah, that's very sleazy. But I guess that line right there didn't go too well in the UK, which they cut out of the film. So yeah, that. And then we got, I guess there's an Italian version of this film because you towards the end I noticed Bronson had scars on his face. So I was like, where did he get scars? They didn't show it. But I guess there's an Italian version where at the beginning when he has a shootout with three outlaws, the deputies beat him up and scarred him up, but I guess it was cut out of the film.
Hmm.
You can only see it in a certain, I guess, Italian version of the film. So that explained because I was watching the film, I was like, why does he have cuts on his face? Who did he fight or what? So it explained it. I guess he was beat up by deputies after killing three men.
So did you
Um,
see the which edition was it? I guess it wasn't the Italian one.
what's this one right here? Which is
Is it
it
PG?
says unrated, restored version
Oh,
unrated, but it's PG-13.
so it is rated.
But it is rated, yeah. But
They
I
say
think
it's
this one's a
unrated.
little more. I think the Italian version would be the uncut, the true uncut version.
Because I saw the Italian one.
Hmm.
Because I remember
See,
that
I haven't
scene
seen
where he
that
got
one.
beat up.
This one don't have it. It's cut out of it. But
That's a shame.
yeah. But yeah, the let me see what else I got here. Okay, we got Henry Fonda, who originally turned down the role because he didn't want to play a villain because he's been a clean cut guy through every film. And when they read the script that he's a villain, he didn't want it, no part of it. So I guess Sergio Leone flew to his home to convince him to play this
Oh
role,
wow.
and he still told Sergio Leone, "I don't want. I'm a clean cut guy. I don't play that kind of guy." And I guess one of his friends working on the film, talked him into doing it and telling him, "You're not only going to be a villain, you're going to stand out in this film too." So I guess he agreed to it, and Leone said he wanted to shock the audience because they had never seen Henry Fonda as a villain.
Hmm.
So it worked out because he does have that. He plays it good. I thought he has the look, everything, and I'm gonna get into some more. Leone offered the harmonica role to Clint Eastwood before Bronson, but he
Hmm.
turned it down. I guess him and Leone had a little scuffle. They didn't want to work together no more. They had like a little, not scuffle, but a little drama. So I guess he turned down that role. But then we got Bronson, who played harmonica, was offered the roles of the Dollars trilogy. He was supposed to play first all the trilogies that Clint Eastwood got famous for, and he
Oh
turned
wow.
those down. So I guess they back and forth turned down roles on these films. And also Jill, who's played by Cardinal in this film, Cardinal, I don't know if I said her name right, was supposed to go to Sophia Loren originally, but she turned Leone didn't want. She said she's too powerful of a woman and too much. of a star that should stand out in the film, and it wouldn't work.
Hmm.
So I guess they both agreed for not to have her on there because of that purpose. And like I said in the drama, Eastwood turned down this film, and him and Leone never worked again. And it says they actually never talked till 1988.
Hmm.
They made up at a dinner. So I guess
I wonder
there
what
was tension
happened.
between them. I don't know the whole story. I just know it was Eastwood not happy working with him. I don't. It doesn't show too much. I'd have to look more into it, but I guess they didn't. Yeah, they didn't make up for a lot of years. They didn't talk over a dinner. They because I know they wasn't too bad because he still paid tribute to him in High Plains Drifter, so they must have had still some mutual respect. But
Well, if
I
he
think it was
had,
more of a business.
it was on the grave though, right?
Yeah,
That
that's what
makes
I'm
me
curious
think
about.
it's him not giving a homage and being like, "I wish you were in the grave." I wonder if
Maybe
that's what it was. I don't want to
because
assume, but
it says they didn't make up till 1988 over a dinner, and that's pretty interesting because he had done the what was it, the trilogies with him. But it said Eastwood always had love for him. It just, I guess, a business more than personal. But
yeah, that
I mean,
happened.
I'll go for it.
Oh, I was gonna say that exact situation happened on with Akira Kurosawa and Toshiro Mifune, because Mifune was in like 35 or so of, well, not 35, but like 20 of Kurosawa's movies, from like one of his first movies all the way up until the late 70s, I think, or early 70s. And they did a movie called Redbeard, and it took them like 3 or 4 years to make that movie. And in Mifune's contract, Kurosawa had put it in that he's not allowed to shave like during the entire filming of the movie, because he's playing a doctor in the movie who's really poor and who's basically just giving all his money to the patients for the medicines and all that. And Mifune hated it. He never had a beard, really. He had a mustache, like that was it. And in Seven Samurai, he had a little bit of a beard in that one. But in the movie, like it's a full beard, a real one
Got
he
fooled.
had, and he hated it. And he had to have it for like 2 or 3 years. And conditions were really bad on the movie too. It was really cold all the time. Sets were always falling apart, and like all this different stuff. And they just stopped talking to each other. Like Mifune had no interest in ever talking to Kurosawa again, and they made up in the final year that Kurosawa was alive, because Mifune, I think, was I guess diagnosed with cancer or something, whatever he died
Oh,
of. And so he was dying, and then Kurosawa was also dying. And so they went out and kind of made up. And uh, so it's interesting that that basically happened too with Leone and Clint Eastwood, because that was one thing I've always wondered. Like, there's not many movies with them both. And they made probably one of the best
yeah.
westerns of all time. And why would they not continue? But it makes sense now that they stopped talking to each other.
Well, it says that Leone was real upset when Eastwood turned down the role of harmonica. I wonder if that had a lot to do with it.
Yeah, I wonder if it was on Clint Eastwood that
Hmm.
just kind of ruined the relationship. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I don't know what, but it looks like that's what started it. Was him turning down the role. But you could tell he still had love for him though. Like, because I don't know, like you said on that grave, that could have been a shot at him, or we
Yeah.
don't know. Yeah, because it's on a grave. But at least they made up before Leone passed away. I mean, they
Yeah.
went because they said that Leone liked to eat. Clint Eastwood said, "The only time I could talk to him was over dinner. He wouldn't talk unless you were eating."
Hmm.
He said he loved to eat that much. But that's where they ended up making up was over a dinner. So
Awesome.
interesting. But yeah, that's all I got on that film. I loved it.
Yeah,
I mean, the final showdown, the music. I think I rewinded it like 3 times just to hear that music again.
yeah, I saw it for
Between
the first time last year, I think, and I loved it a lot. And
me too.
Peter Fonda was always the straight cut good guy in everything, in the hundreds of westerns he was in. And my personal favorite with him is 12 Angry Men, which is on Criterion. And that's about him and 12 Angry Men, as the movie's called. They have to decide I guess, um, whether they're going to charge a young teen with murder or not. And Peter Fonda realizes there's a lot of shady details behind what actually happened and what was said at court. And the entire movie is in a, I guess, back room at the court where they all debate and talk about all the details of it. And Peter Fonda is like, wait a minute, like, what about this detail and this detail and this detail? And one by one, he convinces each of the 12 angry men to not convict this teen. In that movie, it's like 80 minutes long or something, and it feels like 3 hours of
Not too
just
long.
pure goodness. Like, it's one of my favorite movies, and I'm shocked I still don't own it on Criterion because it's like amazing. But Peter Fonda
I've
is
heard of
like
it. I've heard of it,
amazing
but I
in
haven't
that.
seen it.
Yeah, but that was one thing I noticed when I watched it because I watched it with my dad, and he was kind of like, "Oh, Peter Fonda's a villain like in this," because he hadn't seen it, I
Hmm.
don't think, or if he had, he'd forgotten that he was the villain. And I
Yeah,
remember I was like, "Oh yeah, like that's true. I've never really thought about that. That this was his first villain role, and he was pretty intimidating."
he did a great job in this movie. I actually despised him in the film. I don't know. But then he had like this charming way to just lower you into him. But man, the ending's just so great. I've never seen such a great ending since like Lone Wolf McQuade when the music's playing and you got like what's his name from Kung Fu?
Chuck
Carradine.
Norris. Oh,
Carradine and Chuck Norris and Carradine, man, they're showing down on Lone Wolf McQuade and you have that pounding score and it's by Morricone too. I'm like, man, that's what you live for to see stuff like that, you know what I mean, on those kind of films. It delivers. And then
yeah.
it starts to show the story, like why, and you're like, whoa, okay. You know why the hate is there. So,
Yeah. Morricone actually did a few scores for Argento in his first movies before Deep Red. He did it for, I guess, Bird with the Crystal Plumage and Cat o' Nine Tails.
oh, well.
I believe both of those were before Deep Red. And then Deep Red, he had Goblin. And basically
Yeah,
just worked with Goblin for the rest of his life. So, well, not life, because
interesting.
Argento's still alive, but through all the 80s, or the 70s and 80s, a little bit of the 90s, almost did Trauma, and
He
I
has a movie coming out, right? Argento?
he's
I saw
one of the
some.
cast I guess actors in it in a Gaspino movie. Gaspino did a Climax and
Mm.
Irreversible, which is a really sleazy rape revenge movie. I haven't seen it, but
Yeah, I
it's
have
supposed
it.
to be
I watched it.
yeah, it's supposed to be really sleazy and pretty disgusting.
It's crazy. It's crazy, man. The ending's insane. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, that new movie he made with Dario Argento as one of the leads, it's playing in a local theater of mine in May, and so I can't.
Oh well.
I'm really gonna try and see it. Uh, I
Oh yeah.
guess in person in theaters. So I haven't seen a Gaspar No movie in theaters. I've seen Climax, and I loved
Yeah,
Climax.
I've seen Climax. I have it. That movie's crazy too, man. It's just off the
It's
wall.
a one shot.
Adrenaline.
Yeah, it's insane. Everyone's just losing
Yeah.
their minds on drugs.
Man, when that kid's in the boiler room, I'm just like nervous and oh, I don't know, the feeling
Ends
of
up
watching that.
dying.
Just
Yeah.
yeah, it's like
That whole movie. I made my dad watch that, and he hated it. I don't know why I made him watch it. I was like, "We're gonna watch this. It's gonna be fun," because I didn't know anything about it. I just heard it was one shot, and usually that's like good enough. But yeah, he hated that one. I kind of felt bad. I was like, I should have just watched this on my own. Like after watching it, I was like, oh my god, this was so much more, I guess, cynical and sleazy
It's not
than
for
I thought.
everyone. The type of film is not for everyone.
But that's on the Region B side of Arrow, right? They don't have it in the Region A.
No, I don't think so.
Now that I'm Region 3,
Even
maybe I
even
should get it.
Irreversible, I think. I don't know if Irreversible is region. I have it right here.
That's
The
Indicator,
flip
right?
box indicator. Yeah.
Yeah, that's Region B. And it's like
And
$50 shipping to even get it here. So you
is
gotta
it?
do Orbit or whoever,
I
Diabolic.
got it from Diabolic DVD.
Yeah.
Like I pre-ordered it, so yeah. I was
Well,
like, I
cool.
need that.
Well, I can go into my last one.
All right.
This one, I loved it so much. I should probably take it out of the box. But this was a Vengeance Trails release. One I did not think I would like. I mean, I've heard really good things about it, so I assumed it was awesome. But I watched it and I was like, no, yeah, it's even better than what people say. This is Banditos from
Hmm.
1967 from director Massimo Dallamano, who has also done What Have You Done to Solange and
Hmm.
Colt 38 Special Squad. I've heard of Solange, but not the other one.
That's a good movie. I've seen it.
Oh, nice. Okay, great. So, he was a cinematographer actually for the first two movies in the Dollars trilogy by Sergio Leone, and this was the first time he actually directed a movie. And my God, is the cinematography amazing in this? Uh,
Nice.
the entire movie can be paused and turned into a desktop background easily, in my opinion. But basically, the story is actually unique for once in these fucking westerns. Is one thing I wish was more prevalent. But there's a train heist at the right in the beginning of the movie, and we get the introduction of Martin, who seems like a villain, like the first time we meet him, but he actually ends up being our main character. A train heist happens, and he's having a shoot off, and the person who's leading the heist is like, "Hey, wait a minute! Like, no one can hit that accurately, except for my old master. Ayo, master, come out here." And he's like, "Okay." So he goes out there. He's like, "What are you doing, apprentice?" And he's like, "I'm the one leading the gang now." And everyone's kind of like, "Oh my god, it's your master! Like, I didn't think he was real. I thought you were being, you know, uh, I guess, boastful." But our main, uh, whatever it's called, villain, his name is the most Western name I've ever heard. He's Billy Kane,
Oh, nice.
and it's an awesome name. But instead of killing our main hero, he shoots both of his hands and makes them unusable, which never happens. It happened
That
at
is
the
unique.
very end of Django, but like that's the only movie really that comes close. And this movie did it like in the first scene of the movie. And
Oh,
so the rest of the movie is our main character Martin training a new sharpshooter after a couple years since the heist. And the assistant is has an amazing name too, named Ricky Shot. Ends up he has a real name, which they just give in the back of the box here. They actually give away most of the reveals in this movie on the back of the box, so don't read it if you haven't seen
oh,
it. But basically, Ricky Shot becomes the new hired gun for our main character, and they slowly track down the villain, and movie's pretty awesome. I don't want to say any more because that's like half the movie right there. But there's a really bold an amazing thing they did towards the end of the movie. You probably know, but it was something I was not expecting at all, and I loved it, and I'm happy they did it. And it made it so much more interesting. And then we follow someone else for the rest of the movie. And it was awesome, and I was shocked that they did it. This movie had balls, I guess, to go out of the norm. And it's so hard
That's always a
talking
good
around
thing,
it.
man. It's always a
Yeah.
good thing.
This movie was so much more original than any Western I've seen, outside of like Django, because not many movies has our main character bringing out a Gatling gun from a coffin and just mowing down. Like, that never happens. But they say on the back here that it's one of the very best Italian westerns outside of the Dollars trilogy. And yeah,
Wow.
I agree. I'm gonna make a controversial statement and say I think I like this more than Django. I loved this one
Wow.
a lot, and I love Django. So
Bold statement.
yeah, it's really bold, and I'm sure I've lost my triple digit subscribers now that I've hit 105. I've been getting about one subscriber a day, but
Nice.
it's pretty cool. But this movie also has the fucked up thing. That's Pecos. That is not our main hero. It looks totally different. But this is the alternate artwork. But the original artwork's okay. I'm trying to hold my disc, but looks pretty cool. But
Oh yeah,
I much prefer.
I like that.
Yeah, looks awesome. But I like this one. It's a lot more classic.
Yeah, that one's better. I
And-
agree.
Yeah, and plus all of the spines would have been white outside of God said to Cain. But there was a guy in this movie. Oh yeah, our main guy is from Bird with the Crystal Plumage. So I was like, I knew him. I couldn't figure out who he was, and I looked on the back to write down the year that the movie came out. And I was like, oh shit, Bird with the Crystal Plumage. All right, cool. So I was like, okay, that's how
Is it
I
the
know
guy
him.
that like witnessed the murder? Is it the main guy?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So, pretty awesome. I loved it. One fun thing is that when he's teaching the apprentice, they're doing like a circus sideshow where they're like, oh, the most deadly gunman ever. And the original one dies, like, immediately. And so our main character walks into the bar and has a fight with the villains. It's like, hey, you assholes, like, you killed my guy. Like, because you didn't like someone being better than you. And then our new apprentice guy gets involved and it's like, hey, why y'all beating each other up? And he gets hired on to become the new guy. And so they shoot cards, they shoot ropes. Towards the end of the movie, they rescue someone who's getting hung by shooting the rope, which happens a lot in the Dollars trilogy. Especially Good, Bad, and the Ugly happens like
Yeah.
3 or 4 times. But I loved it. Debatably more than Django. So
Wow.
that's my high praise. And I love Django, so
Me too. I'm gonna have to see that because I'm a Django fan here. So if it's better than that, I gotta watch it.
the music's okay in that, just to mention that, but everything else is just so awesome, so it's fine. It's serviceable. There's an awesome scene where we get a Mexican guitar player who's just like chilling in the middle of a shootout, just playing music. And then he stops at one point because a bullet strays too close. And our main hero is like, hey, play your music again. And he's like, okay, and starts strumming again on his guitar. And like provides the final, I guess, leg of the music for the final few seconds of the fight. So that was a lot of fun.
That's what you get like in those type of films, even like Japanese films. Like you get that like obscure scenes that are just awesome. Can't,
Yeah.
Even on a showdown in a samurai film, you have like some music playing or some art, or all of a sudden comes the sword.
So you said you've seen the movie, right?
No, I haven't.
Oh, I
No,
thought you had. Okay.
no.
No, yeah, you should. That's why I thought you. That's why I said you might know it. My bad. But yeah, you should definitely watch it. It's awesome.
I'm gonna look out for it, especially the bold statement about better than Django. I gotta see that now.
Oh yeah, like there's a few boring parts, in my opinion, of Django. I mean, it doesn't
Uh-huh.
bring it down much at all for me, but there's still a little bit for me. But yeah, that's my final one. I guess you're finished. So
Hmm.
I guess it's my choice on the next episode
Yeah.
topic, and I'm leaning towards Shaw Brothers.
Oh.
So I have a lot of Shaw Brothers movies now. So I need to get through them. I need motivation. So
Yeah, me too. I haven't even seen my films on the set.
me
So
neither. That is a set we both have. So I'll
yeah,
try not to choose the same ones as if I have any knowledge of what you'll be choosing. But
I know.
we'll see. If so, whatever. But
Yeah, could discuss it together. Say, I hated that shit, or that was awesome.
so yeah, next week or 2 weeks, I guess. I always forget it's every other week. We'll
I
do
had a
Shaw Brothers.
suggestion. Do you still
Yeah,
have room for a new topic?
yeah. It's a never expanding. So
Okay, I wanted to. I don't know how this will go with you, but killer bot movies, like killer robot.
oh, I already have robots.
Oh, okay. So yeah, yeah. I just thought of that, but I was like, I didn't remember. So
Gotta do a chopping mall.
that's what came to my mind first. And there's a film I'm after. I don't have it, but it's called Death Machine,
Oh yeah,
and it has a fucking the voice of Chucky. What's his name? Brad Dourif
Brad Dorff. Yeah, he's awesome.
in that film. Yeah, yeah.
Should also check out a Lady Terminator. That one's amazing.
They have
Super
the
funny.
DVD on Orbit, but I don't know if I should pick up a DVD.
Be the sacrifice for the Blu-ray.
Yeah, I'll get it, and then like the next month they'll release it on Vinegar Syndrome.
Yeah. Well,
Uh,
I guess there's 3 more titles, right, for May that's getting unveiled
is
during the
there?
sale. Yeah,
I didn't even know that. Fuck.
because the one for this month has all been revealed. It's Death Wish 2, Flesh Eaters, and Alien Private Eye. And then the next month
Yeah,
is Miami Connection, another movie, and that's
thriller.
yeah, and Thriller. I guess those are the only 2 that have been announced so far, but there's still 3 other
Yeah.
titles, and one of them's a box set.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
So hopefully, if you buy it, it'll just magically happen, whether they were planning to or not. The universe will shape itself around the fact you bought it and were a sacrifice.
They have it at Orbit DVD, man. I'm tempted.
I would wait. I'm waiting. I
I'm
really
gonna
want to
wait too.
rewatch
I'm
it.
gonna wait because I want a 4K or a Blu-ray. I want that kind of transfer on it.
It's a very bizarre movie, but let's just wrap this up.
All right.
Thank you everyone for listening. We'll be back, I guess, in 2 weeks to discuss Shaw Brothers.
Shaw
Very
Brothers.
exciting. And thank you again
Oh
for
yeah.
joining with me.
Thanks, Christian, for having me, man. And everyone, it's Cult Flicks Fix 24. So the name changed, and I don't know why I'm getting tongue-tied with the name, but it's a new channel name. So thanks, Christian, for having me on here, man. It's been a
Yep.
blast. I look forward to Shaw Bros. Let's go.